A switch statement is used to check one value against many cases. The values that are allowed for a switch statement, they cannot be of all types. You can actually only have byte, short, int, string, and enum, which we'll see next. A switch statement, it has a bit of a funny syntax compared to what we have seen so far. Let's have a look at IntelliJ. Here we have IntelliJ, and let's have a look at our switch statement. What does it look like? So let's start with an int x, saying int x equals, I don't know, 89. Well, let's just go for 3 instead. And then I'm going to make a switch statement here, and it looks like this. I'm going to switch on x, and I'm going to define a certain set of cases. And these cases can be anything as long as they're of type int. So I can do this and say, well, if this is the case, then do something, something. Or let's make it a bit smaller and say x is 1, if we just make this case 1. Then you have to do something weird. You have to break it manually. Because if you don't break it and it finds a match, it's going to execute all lines of codes afterwards. That might sound a bit vague. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'm gonna do some more typing. There we go, and I'll break this again. And I'm just gonna copy paste this, so I'll be kind of done. Oh. There we go. 3, 3, 4, 4. So let's first have a look at this. So if I'm going to run this, it will print x equals 3. So it's just going to grab this x and it's going to check its value against 1, 2, and 3. And for 3, it's actually finding a match, and then it's going to execute this line. Then it's going to break and it's going to quit the switch statement and go there. If I would leave out this break, something funny will actually happen. Let's have a look. It's going to find a match at x is 3, and then without checking whether x is equal to 4, it's also going to do whatever is specified beneath here. So if you want it to stop running the code after the case, you'll have to insert a break, which is something you usually want. Then you can actually specify a special case, namely a default case. And this default case is for when it has not found a match with the case label. So let's go for x is something else. Then we're just going to make x 32. And you'll see here that it's going to end up in the default label printing x is something else. And you can do this with other values too. So we could have done this with a string. We could have set a string s equals something. Well, I've done a bit too much C# this week. There we go. But now we are switching it on an S, and as I already said, the case labels, they have to be of the same type, and these are ints, and this is a string, so that's a problem. So we have to put strings here too, so you can say hello, and I don't know, something, and some other thing. Let's just remove this because I'm out of inspiration. There we go. And then here I'll just say hello and something and other thing, and also as is something else. So there we go. I'm going to run this and it's clearly going to find a match on something. So if I would just change this a little bit, right now it doesn't find a match, so it will end up there. So this default label, it doesn't have to be the last one actually. I can also move it up a bit. But if I run this now, you might guess what will happen. It's also going to print hello, because I did not break after default, which is a bad habit of mine, which I don't always do because I always put it at the bottom, which is the convention. But if I would run it right now, it would match on the default. So it will still evaluate this the last. So even if it finds a match, it's not going to match on default right now. It's going to match on this one. So let's prove that to you. There you go. Let's change it back to something else. So it's first checking all of these and then going back to the default. So the order, it matters in terms of the break statement, but it doesn't matter in terms of the matching. So it's not matching from top to bottom. This means that you also cannot have double case labels, because if you do that, you'll also get compiler errors. Look. It says duplicate label, some other thing. So you need to have unique labels, that's important. Well, that's it for now on the switch statement. Please let me know and I will help you.